It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640, it is the... Ow. Damn it. Self in the head with the headphones. It's been that kind of night. All right, election results are coming in, and, you know, a lot of people are framing this as a rebuttal and a pushback on Donald Trump, and it's not. All these election results are coming out of states that voted heavily for Kamala Harris. New Jersey, New York. Didn't Virginia go?
No, Virginia didn't.
Virginia did not go for...
I don't know what the ultimate tally was, but they didn't go heavily for Kamala Harris.
They didn't vote for Kamala Harris over Donald Trump?
I said I don't know what the ultimate vote was. Let me check. Let me see.
I bet it's over 300,000 votes. I would bet my life that it's over 200,000 votes. I think that's a lot.
She got 51% to Trump's 46.
Oh, all right. Well, but what were the totals? Well, I bet it's over 300,000.
He's got a death grip on that 300,000.
260 roughly.
260,000 votes?
She had more than him, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
I'm going to give you that, by the way.
Okay.
260,000 and 300,000. It's not a bad.
It's not zero.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Virginia, New Jersey, New York, California. These are all states that went for Kamala Harris. These are not big, Republican states that are voting against Donald Trump. They're just not. They're just a bunch of people who have been voting for Democrats their whole lives, continuing to vote for Democrats. That's what's going on. So if you're a conservative, you're a Republican, don't get down on these votes. This is nothing new.
No.
These are not states. These are not swing states. These are not states that Donald Trump won. These are states that the Democrats have won for a long time, and they continue to win. So it's not a big deal.
I mean,
nothing to see here.
Okay.
Well, I mean, isn't that not true?
No, I think that's probably
100% true.
Well, I was looking at other places where there might be elections that are consequential and, kind of bellwethers.
Well, in Virginia, the Democrat won, beating the previous Republican.
Right. But they also, the Democrats had almost, 260,000 more votes for that idiot Kamala Harris.
Yeah. But Youngkin, who was the Republican, won pretty decisively when he won in Virginia.
Right. But that goes back and forth. I mean, that goes, Virginia go with their, their local elections, they go back and forth. But it's nothing new. There's no, don't let them freak you out that there's a trend in this country that is going way to the left. It's not happening. It's just not happening, especially in swing states and the South. If you want to if you're a Republican and you really want to enjoy yourself, move to the South and leave all the craziness behind. That's my solution.
Yeah, I mean, those states have their own problems, I mean,
every state has their problems.
No, it's a different kind of craziness, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. See, we
depends
talked about,
which state you're talking about,
right? But we had talked about this with Michael Monks. If Newsom became president, I would be laughing at the rest of this country. I would say, great. Now you get 4 or 8 years of the absolute S-fest that we've had to deal with him for 4 or was it 8 years he's been governor?
Mm-hmm.
And look what he's done. I mean, the state's a mess, But the homeless is worse now than when he started. The crime is probably worse now than when he started. Gas prices are higher now than when he started. The taxes are higher now than when he started. We shut the schools down for a year and a half, where other states shut them down for 2 weeks.
That's the first thing. I mean, I think some of those things that you mentioned, like gas prices, et cetera, I don't know that the governor has any control over that, but I do take your point about COVID. And, COVID and COVID policies informed a lot of the election results in the general. I mean, I think it carried Trump and a lot of Republicans to victory.
You don't think that the governor has anything to do with gas prices?
I don't think he has control over gas prices particularly. Why? What is...
Okay. All right,
no, I'm asking.
All right, let's flush out the issue.
Yeah.
A lot of the refineries are breaking down and leaving because they don't consider California a viable place to do business.
Right. That's the California legislature.
All the restrictions.
That's the legislature, and so I'm saying the governor doesn't handle it. He may be part of that machine. I'll accept the fact that the Democratic machine controls California. I wouldn't dispute that at all. In fact, I think it's a flaw. But what I would say is that the governor doesn't control gasoline prices. In the same way the president doesn't control gasoline prices. I mean, I always love that, when the price of the pump is down, the president, whoever the president is, takes credit for it. When it goes up, it's like, the president doesn't have anything to do with it. And the truth is the president really doesn't have anything to do with it.
All right, I'll give you that the governor in the state of California cannot single-handedly reduce the price of gasoline. Then why is it so high in California?
Well, that's because of taxes and environmental blends that are required in California.
And what parties push that?
No, I've just told you that the Democratic machine he is part of is the reason. You have to change that in the legislature. Absolutely. I agree.
But you can't.
Yeah, no, I've also just
said,
now
with redistricting, it's going to make it even tougher.
Sure, there's a supermajority in California, and the same is true in places like Texas and other Republican states that are as bad on the other side. I mean, it sucks. I think the gerrymandering at redistricting is total crap for Democrats or Republicans. It's not representative. It makes congressional representation a joke. You have states where, like Wisconsin, where you have it's so heavily gerrymandered, there's just no way that you can have a Democratic legislature. Same is true now in Texas and across many red states that have gone purple in terms of population. And so in California, same thing. The communities that are Republican don't get appropriate representation. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and now they're going to lose even more. So, these guys who live up in Eastern California, which is all Republican, and Northeastern California, they're not going to have a say in anything.
Sure, it's not right.
The representatives that they're going to send to Washington will not be representing their lifestyles.
The House is flawed in this way, and the idea of a gerrymandering, a redistricting that doesn't even follow the census. This is kind of a new thing that was hatched by Trump, and it's inventive and it's aggressive, but it just takes a problem that we already have and it creates it as an even greater issue here, sort of in the middle of the decade.
Yeah, I think if Newsom wins, I hope the rest of this country has to live in the absolute toilet that we have had for the last 8 years.
Again, the president is just one cog in that machine in Washington. Now you've got a president and a party in control. I don't know that you'll have that. I don't think Newsom's going to win the presidency anyway.
If he does, I say to the rest of the nation, welcome to S.
Yeah. But again, the S you're talking about is a supermajority in Sacramento, which I don't think you have in Washington.
Right. But
that's the problem.
But he's going to bring his policies, that the crazy thinking that has gotten him to the point where he gets elected president. He'll bring that craziness with him to the White House.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guarantee.
I mean, there are all kinds of areas of crazy. I agree. It seems like the crazy is pretty much meted out on both sides.
I understand that, but I have had to live under his craziness for 8 years.
Right, I know, and
so that's the only craziness I know.
No, and I get it, and you know how I feel about like the homeless industrial complex. We keep voting for these bond measures. We keep pouring money into it, and it doesn't change anything. Right. And I think that's even beyond the governor. I mean, I think that is the problem with the supermajority, and
right.
and we know it's happened.
How do you
unemployment benefits?
Right, but how do you change the supermajority?
Yeah, I mean, this is an issue.
Right, but how would you change the supermajority?
Right, I mean,
how would you change it?
No, I don't know how you change it in California. I really don't.
Right.
You'd have to
by maybe not redistricting and drawing the lines where we even lose more of the other party.
But on the national level, if you don't redistrict, you completely turn Washington over to one party, and Democrats feel that,
okay, so we sacrifice our our own house for the rest of the nation.
Well, you're sacrificing your own house anyway if you leave it over to the Republicans because of the war on California. You know what's happening in Washington around California. And so I don't know. I think there's as I've told you, I think it's really flawed. Redistricting across the board is awful. Yeah. So I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's an issue.
Yeah, it is amazing how much money it costs to live in California. And if he is not to blame, then who is to blame?
He's part of that blame, which is the supermajority in Sacramento. I agree.
Have you had your, by the way, I know we got to take a break. Have you had your home insurance go up like I did?
Oh, yeah. And I felt lucky I could get it. You're talking about fire insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours was $2,400 a year, and it went up to $5,600.
Well, we felt
my daughter's car insurance is $8,000 a year.
We felt lucky we could get insurance.
I can't afford to live in this state anymore. I mean, it really is getting tight. And I'm making pretty decent money. Imagine if you're squeaking by, trying to make it in this state with the gas prices, the insurance. How does some guy get by where he has one child and his daughter's car insurance is $8,000 a year?
Sure.
I don't know how he does it. What if you have 5 kids? And then that doesn't even include education. It's impossible to live in this effing state. It's impossible. Everything, they've taken everything from everybody.
It's an insanely expensive place to live.
It's the worst. It's the absolute. And there's nobody addressing those problems. Nobody. Except me. All right, it's Conway and Thompson. KFI AM 640. Conway Show. Mark Thompson is here.
Come on, Conway.
Let's go. We had a plane accident in Louisville, Kentucky.
I mean, a huge accident.
Horrible. And I just saw the footage. Man, it's all over the internet. Everything's on video nowadays. You can't do anything without somebody catching it on video.
My friend who's an aviation guy, sort of an expert in aviation, said it looks like the engine's falling off the jet.
That's a 34-year-old plane. They're taken from Kentucky to Hawaii. I don't know. I don't know when planes fall apart, but that seems like a lot.
I mean, I thought that planes with good maintenance could last a real long time. That's what they tell you, that there's a give to everything. I don't know, man.
What is that? They call it an MD-11? Is that what it is?
The engine in the back?
Like a DC-10, with that big engine on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And McDonnell Douglas made them, which is why they call it MD, I think. And it's horrible. It's still on fire. They still haven't put that fire out.
Wow. It's been, what?
It happened at 5:20 p.m. local time, and they're on Eastern, so at 2:20 p.m. And what's weird is I was watching TV, I'm watching news to get ready for today's program, or watching the Dodger game again, and my wife came in and said there's a massive plane accident in Kentucky, and so I turned on CNN. And 15 minutes later, they said there's an accident. And so nowadays, with social media, you get it 15, 20, 30 minutes before everybody else does.
There are just so many other ways to get it besides the TV news.
Yeah. And that's going to hurt TV news, though.
Oh, it's already hurting TV news. Yeah. I mean, already so much of the audience is already checked out.
Remember I guess it was the abortion clinic or the fertility clinic, something in Palm Springs. Remember when the guy blew that thing up, that crazy guy blew it up? Oh,
sure. Yeah.
Fertility clinic is what it is. And I watched the FBI. They gave a press conference on it. And they said, well, we don't know who he is. We don't know what his beef was. We don't know what kind of equipment he used or where he lived. But we got all our best guys and gals on it. And we'll get you all the details at 5 o'clock. And that was at 1 o'clock. So another 4 hours later. So I said to my wife, I go, we don't know anything about this guy yet. And she goes, I know where he lives. I know what his name is. I know why he did it. And I know who his friends are. All of it was on social media.
Wild.
All of it.
Wild.
Before the FBI even talked about it. And she was right with everything.
Jeez.
Everything was online. And the people online, with the Nextdoor app or Community app or whatever those things are, they have all the information before everybody.
Well, they positively ID people much more quickly now because of
Much
social
more.
media, right? You can just get any kind of surveillance photo up.
Yeah. There was a shooting in Burbank on Saturday night or Sunday night. May have been last night. Days get confused. And there was a shooting in Burbank, which is unusual. So my wife was on it, and she was there probably 4 minutes after the shots were fired because somebody was streaming it live. And it was over somebody playing music. A neighbor was playing loud music. And I guess he's been asked 3 or 4 times to turn it down, and he didn't want to. And the guy said, okay, well, I'll shoot you if you don't turn it down. And he goes, I don't believe you. And he shot him. That's all I know.
Wow, that's a pretty grim ending.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the real story or not, but that's all I heard. But it was I watched it live on social media, And then I turned on the channel 2, 4, 7, 5, 11 news. They didn't even report it. Not even report it. And I saw the whole thing live. So I don't know how long TV news can stick around with the internet.
Well, people just do get news from so many different places. And then what happens with TV news is it ends up being an aggregator of social media. So,
I know.
They're reading social media posts on TV news. It's like, hey, let's just eliminate the middleman, and I'll just...
When I first started here, we reported there was a shooting in Hollywood, and then Chris Little, the news director, came in and said, where'd you hear that from? I said, I'm looking at it right now on social media. He goes, we don't use social media and Twitter as a source. And I said, I know, but I'm looking at it. It's right there. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it happen. He goes, well, we don't use Twitter as a source. I go, well, you better start because everybody else is. That was like the first run-in I had with him. I go, I would use Twitter as a source because I'm looking at the shooting right now, and it's live.
Yeah, I'm seeing the actual shooting.
Yeah. He goes, well, I don't use Twitter as a source. You should do that.
You may want to get more flexible on that.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. All right, we're live. It's Conway and Thompson.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Conway and Thompson. Big dog.
Yeah.
Your boy just won mayor of New York City.
Oh, yeah. Mamdani.
Mamdani.
Yeah. He was about 10 points ahead of
of the CNN,
Cuomo.
AP, they're all giving it to him.
Yeah.
He's won the election.
He's not exactly my boy, but I do think it's fascinating to see New York pivot toward this guy who is...
we'll see.
I don't know. Feels like
we'll see what happens.
Running in kind of a weak field. I mean, you've got Cuomo, who's
it's horrible.
Warmed over leftovers. He would literally, left office with.
And they got Adams, who's selling his soul to foreigners.
Right.
And then you got
Sliwa,
who's just running around subways.
He's just happy. He's happy to be relevant.
But it does. It's amazing that this guy's going to win. He won.
Yeah.
And he's going to be governor of the city of New York.
Yeah.
And he's promising a lot, freezing rent, government-run grocery stores.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting because some of the stuff that he wants to do, he wants to subsidize. He's going to need to subsidize it with tax increases, and he can't do that without Albany, without the capital. Without, you'll need buy-in from the legislature to get that done.
But they say a lot of billionaires are going to leave New York City. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
I think if you're a New Yorker, you can't go anywhere else. You need that energy that New York has.
I mean,
I never believe that when people say they're going to leave.
I also think that those things are often said for a reason, right? To sort of make it clear, hey.
Right. Yeah. The guy who was running, Jay Jones, he's running for, I think, the Attorney General in Virginia. Yeah. Isn't that he's the guy that sent text saying that he hoped his opponent's wife, Jennifer, or Gilbert's wife, Jennifer, would have to hold her dying children to understand the parents whose children are killed by gun violence. And he also said if he had 2 bullets and he had to choose between killing his opponent, Adolf Hitler, or Pol Pot, he would shoot Gilbert twice. And yet he won as a Democrat.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
He said he would in a conversation about his opponent's children. He said that the conversation continued via phone, during which Jones repeatedly invoked the death of Gilbert's children, suggesting that a tragedy might make the speaker more amenable to gun control policies. And he won today as a Democrat. I guess that's not disqualifying anymore.
I mean, what's disqualifying now? Political rhetoric is so coarse. It's so low rent. There is nothing sacred. It is absolutely insane the way all political discourse has changed.
Yeah, but I don't remember children getting involved. I mean, I don't remember the last time a politician threatened the children of his opponent.
Well, he didn't threaten them, but
he suggested that he would like to see them die.
He said, based on what you've just read.
I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the conversation continued via phone, during which Jones repeatedly invoked the death of Gilbert's children, suggesting that such a tragedy might make the speaker more amenable to gun control policies. And then additional text, when the guy who he was texting expressed alarm, Jones doubled down on the sentiment, writing, "I hope Gilbert's wife, Jennifer, would have to hold her dying children in her arms to understand the pain of parents whose children were killed by gun violence."
Yeah, certainly not a good thing to say.
It's I don't know how you limbo under that. I hope that's the lowest it ever goes. Well, what am I saying? I hope the lowest it ever goes. They killed Charlie Kirk. You know,
who's they?
The people who are threatening other people in this world.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the party of violence is.
Well, is there a party of violence?
I think
they're radicalized people. So you think the Democrats are a party of violence?
You tell me.
No, I'm telling you right now. I think that's a bit.
You think that's crazy?
I think both.
I just read you texts.
I think they're crazies on both sides.
All right.
I really do. I think that there's no. I really think that there is extremism and radicalism. I can think that we can both agree that there are crazies on both sides.
I think there are crazies on both sides, but it does seem that a lot of the recent violence is coming from one of the two parties.
You thought that I don't want to get into this with you because I just seem like, you talk about the planned kidnapping of a governor of a state of Michigan. They went to the ex-state house with arms. You talk about I think there's any number of crazies on both sides.
Like Trump getting shot.
Yeah, exactly. Trump getting shot. I agree. I mean, I don't think there's any room for political violence at all on either side.
Right.
But I don't think that it's being espoused in any kind of mainstream way.
Right. I just
by
find
one party or another.
Okay, but I find these comments about the opponent's children, the mother having to hold dead children, astonishingly low. And that's not disqualifying. It wasn't disqualifying for him. He's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where we are in this country.
I mean, the discourse that comes out of the White House is a new low as well.
Okay, well, it's not holding your dying children. We're now involving the opponent's children. I think that's a new low.
I get that this comment got to you.
It does get to me.
Yeah, no, I know, and I understand why. I mean, I think that in the context, I'm not trying to justify it at all, but what started it was this gun violence, which he was speaking about, I guess. I mean, I'm learning more about it from your reading of the quote than what I knew before. I knew that he'd made some controversial remarks, right. But he was talking about it in the context of gun violence, that the nature of gun violence is so profoundly awful that the only way to, in any way, communicate the import is if somebody actually experiences it. I guess that's what he's getting at. But I'm not justifying that or saying that he said it well or he shouldn't have said it at all. But that's the context in which it existed.
It's amazing that a guy running brought that up. All right, we got to take a break. All right, it's Conway and Thompson. We're live on KFI. KFI AM 640. It's Conway Show. Mark Thompson's here. And Thompson, I might have some arguments over politics, but I love this man.
No,
I would say out of all the friends that I've met after my post childhood friends, I would say I'm probably closest to you.
Oh, that's really sweet. And I feel you are so much in my head all the time. You are the brother that I've never had. So.
I feel the same way. And I listen to your show often, and I got to give you props. There are some people in radio on this station and do a podcast that will change their opinions on important topics during commercial breaks that drive me crazy, and you never do that.
Oh, you mean like they'll see something or someone will say something during a commercial and then they'll change?
I'm going to tell you a story about somebody who doesn't work here anymore.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Then. Yeah.
And I was listening to him one day, and he said that women should have the right to abort their fetus up until they give birth, which
that's an extreme
which
position.
15, 20 years ago was really, really extreme.
Yeah, it's still extreme.
Right, because you could have been convicted of murder for that.
Sure.
Like if you're 8 months pregnant and you take a knife and you try and you stab your fetus to death, you could be thrown in jail for murder for that. So that was a very extreme position. Then the commercial break happened. Then he came back and he said, I was raised around a lot of Catholics who think that conception is where life begins. And he said, I'm open to that.
Wow. That's quite a pivot.
He was the yin and the yang. He was the ding and the dong of abortion. I don't think anyone's ever said that before.
Yeah.
The
ding and the dong of abortion.
His opinions were the ding and the dong of abortion.
Yeah, you don't hear it a lot.
But one of the reasons why I don't like to do politics because it drives me so crazy that I don't want to be one of those guys that ever says I'm not calling this guy because he's a Democrat, or I'm not calling this guy because he's too far right or too far left. But it does seem like this country is becoming so polarized that even more so than it was back during Trump's first term. It seems like everybody now, like a friend of mine, I'm not going to say who this is. And it didn't affect our friendship, but I'm sure that it affected some of his others. But, recently, Vice President Vance said and made a public appearance with the CEO of United Airlines. And the CEO of United Airlines said, you've got to open up this government. And while he was standing next to Vice President Vance, and one of my very good friends, who I've known for a long time, put a post online and said, well, I'm never flying United again. I mean, over one comment like that, you eliminate an airline for the rest of your life. I think that's odd.
Yeah, but you're right. There are more and more litmus tests like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who, you love electric cars, so you're not a good example of this. I mean, you had an electric car before Tesla, you had a Tesla, and then you have another electric car. You're an electric car guy. But there are people that got into electric cars because of Tesla, and then they sold it after Elon Musk went crazy. Why would you sell a car you love just because the guy who is the CEO doesn't agree with you?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I drive a Ford. I don't know what the CEO of Ford's politics are.
Well, that's what you'd like to have from CEOs is not to know what their politics are. I mean, I get the fact that he became this guy who sort of became a lightning rod because he and his Doge bros went into the government and, dismantled a lot of stuff.
The Mark Thompson Show on YouTube. I wish you safe travels.
Thank you, pal.
You're leaving tomorrow at midnight.
I will be in touch with you along the way.
We'll text from Columbia.
I'm excited about going. I wish it were
seriously safe travel
time. Thank you.
You're the best, buddy.
All right.
Special Chris Merrill and Michael Monk's special election coverage next on KFI AM 640. Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.